He will be speaking for 8 to 10 minutes. The title of his speech is Go with the Flow, Dare to be Bold, by Mahesh Patel.
Thank you, Ritu. Thank you for those nice words. We, in general, this is my opinion only, we are very rigid people in general. We can be very rigid like this spanner, very, very rigid, or it's nice to be flexible. We can be flexible like this hanger. Not only is it a hanger, but this flexible hanger can open up doors, if you see what I mean. If you get what I mean. So it's good to be flexible. The reason I say that is because in this life and circumstances, we have to be flexible and bold. I'll give you an example. All of you have heard of Sigmund Freud. He was a psychiatrist in the 1800s, very well known, goes to conventions, gives seminars. And in the audience, as before he gives a seminar, he always had a habit of having a cigar, a stogie, all the time. One of these nights, this one gentleman who was not very flexible, very rigid, he got really mad. And while everybody was talking, others felt the same way. Why does he smoke? Sigmund Freud, he's a, quote, a doctor. So he went to Sigmund Freud and said, why do you smoke in front of everybody? And he kind of was angry at him. This was a true scenario. And all of a sudden there was a silence in the convention, in the hall, large hall with thousands of people. Sigmund Freud, the way he is, relaxed, smiled at the gentleman who was angry, took out a cigar, took out a lighter, lit it, and gave it to him and says, it's just a cigar. That's what he said, and just went on the stage. And to tell you the point, what it meant is what you do in your early lives affects you later on. I'll give you my own example. When I was 10 years old, I was sent from Zambia. I grew up in Zambia. I was sent to India in a private school. I was 10 years old. I went to this private school. It's a very strict school, a lot of rules and regulations. As I was in the school, after 6 months, I had some probably disease, or when I found out that on my butt and my private parts I had some pimples. I think it was chicken pox or measles or whatever. I was 10 years old. And we had a regulation. If anything happens to you, you have to go to the monitor, what we call a monitor. We cannot go to the principal or the teacher. You have to go to the monitor. So I went to the monitor. Remember, I was just 10 years old, far away from my mom and dad and everybody. And I went to the monitor and said, I have a problem. I have itches and this and that. And this is in the public grounds. So, and then the monitor said, by the way, the monitor was a she, says, okay, take off your pants so I can look at it. I said, now remember, I'm from Zambia, I'm 10 years old, I have 4 brothers, never had a sister in my house, never had females in the house, and she, the monitor, wants to see my private parts? No way. So I started walking away, and I don't know what happened, but it was a long time ago, but I started arguing with the monitor. And then as I'm walking away, she didn't say this, but I heard her say fetch to the 2 sub-monitors. Fetch means, you know, go get the guy. So I started running, because there's no way I'm going to take out my pants in front of everybody, especially a she. Not even if it's Valentine's Day. No way I'm going to do that. So I started running, and when I heard the word fetch, that means the 2 guys were after me. I ran and I ran and I ran. And I ran and I ran, and they could not catch me. Next thing I know, it's dark, and I was running around, hid in the hostel room that we stayed in. It's dinner time. So in dinner time, we always line up in our school, you know, we line up. And I was always the first in line because I was the shortest and the littlest guy. Next thing I know, I'm picked up by these 2 monitors, taken in. And of course, I got punished. I got beaten up, because that's what they do at the school. Because I went against the monitor, against the 2 monitors, and I argued in front of everybody, and that's a no-no in this school. We don't argue. So now what happens is, I did a real big boo-boo by arguing with the monitor. So whenever that happens, the punishment is automatic 1 month of cleanup. You know, whenever you have free time in the hostel, like weekends, afternoon times, we have to clean the rooms, clean the toilets, things like that. So that was automatic thing that I was going to get. But then the monitor looked at me and said, I have another suggestion for you. We would like you to be in our school running team. Because they thought I was such a good runner. Now, I was deciding, should I be a cleaner and clean my friends' toilets and clean their room while all they are playing, or should I go to the team? Now, this was a private school. It's a very aggressive school team. And to join the school team, we have to get up at 4:30 every day, go outside, whether it's raining or cold, we have to practice. I said, I don't want to be in the team because You have to be in the school team. After school, you don't get weekends. You have to, it's work. When you're a little kid, it's work. But I was bold enough, and I joined the team. So what I was saying is, because I took the challenge, I was bold enough, I was flexible enough, I joined the team, and the rest is history. Because even to this day, I'm not 10 years anymore, but I enjoy sports. Sports has taken me a long way. I enjoy golf, I enjoy tennis, I do all kinds of sports. And then throughout my high school years, I was in different teams, basketball team and cricket team and hockey team. It's because I made the decision, when I had to make a decision, I was bold enough to do that. So it's just something that you want to consider. So in life, we have to consider, do you want to be really flexible? Do you want to be bold? What happens if you take some chances? I'm sure you've had some opportunities where you were not taking the chance. Maybe love is in the air right now. Maybe you had an opportunity 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago where you had a chance to have the love and didn't have it because you were not bold enough. Or you were too rigid. You had a certain way. I'm the kind of guy that I don't give rocks to anybody. I give it to myself. So was I that rigid that I did not find somebody? Financially, am I too rigid that I do not roll over my IRAs or get stretch IRAs or whatever? All those things we have done, has it affected, good or bad way, has it affected you or not? And we have to look into that. Because we, as human beings, we get in a rut. We get up in the morning, go to Starbucks, go to work, and we forget things we have to do. And when the opportunity comes in, we don't see that. So what we have to look at is be very flexible all the time, and we have to constantly be flexible. We have to be obsessively conscious about what we're doing and what we're not doing. Because like I said, we're in a rut. We go to the meeting, we go for dinner, we go to the wife, we ignore her, we ignore our kids. But what if we go home every day and we consciously say, hi, how are you, I love you. Here's a big rock for you. Here's a 50,000 mutual fund for you. Would it be how would it have made a difference? What if you were more adventurous? What if you were more flexible? What if you were more challenging? What if you're a bit more open-minded? Would you be a little bit different? And earlier we talked about change. Our inspirational toast for the day was for change. And I'm not saying, or we shouldn't say that change totally, change your hairstyle, become a blonde. Change a little bit at a time. And that's what boldness and flexibility is all about. Like this hanger, it's a hanger, but you can take it out and make it into a fishing rod, or you can open up a car door. Little changes make a big difference. And as I go along, I want to read 2 quotes that I came across as I was reading some books and articles. And by the way, I'm reading to make more changes. I'm reading more on purpose so that it will make a difference in my life, what's left of it. What, am I saying that? I don't believe I'm saying that. So. Here's the first quote. It says, "It is far better for a man to go wrong in freedom than to go right in chains." And this was authored by Thomas Huxley. His book was Darwin's Bulldogs. Here's a second thought. It says, "Develop the strength to do bold things, not the strength to suffer." This was by Niccolo Machiavelli.